Hello, welcome to InfoHub Recap, where we focus on the top stories for the past week. In our headlines, President assures border communities of their residents' safety. Government announces another major oil find by ExxonMobil. Caricom heads of government meeting held in Haiti. Chenapao residents assured of the government's commitment to their development. And Guyana joins the rest of the world in celebrating Pagua. Stay tuned for the details of these and more.
The future of Guyana has never looked better. Our nation is on the cusp of a development program like never seen before. While Guyana is now emerging as an energy giant through the discovery of massive reserves of oil and natural gas, it is your government's intention that the huge benefits emerging from this will go where it matters most, to you, the people of this beloved country. There is a surge of confidence in the way Guyana is governed once again, and the level of investor interest is unprecedented. Guyana is poised to become the breadbasket of the region, and the pace at which this nation will grow through prudent fiscal management will be nothing short of impressive. But more than anything else will be the way every Guyanese, regardless of color, class, or creed, becomes a part of this historic period of national transformation, sharing in the wealth and well-being of it all as one Guyana.
From the annual flag-raising ceremony to the costume and float parade on the big day, Mashramani 2018 was hailed a success by patrons and organizers. We begin with a special report. Guyana's 48th Republic anniversary kicked off with the annual flag-raising ceremony held at Durban Park on February 22. The stands were filled with persons from all walks of life who, as customary, gathered hours in advance to secure their spots. They were joined by President David Granger, First Lady Sandra Granger, Second Vice President and Minister of Foreign Affairs Carl Greenidge, other ministers of government and members of the diplomatic corps. The night's event featured the presidential salute and the parade. There were cultural performances in the form of songs, dances, steel pan rendition and more, showcasing the rich cultural diversity of the nation. The highlight of the event was the traditional hoisting of the golden arrowhead at the stroke of midnight, followed by a colorful explosion of fireworks by the Guyana Defense Force. On the big day, February 23, thousands lined the parapets along the route to enjoy the marvelous display of national pride. This year's Mashramani Float Parade was held under the theme, Let's Cooperate and Celebrate Republic 48. Camp Road was a hive of activity during the early morning when the DPI team took to the streets. Revelers were assembled and band trucks tuned up to head down the Mash route. As the day progressed, the essence of Guyanese culture, our language, food, songs, mineral wealth, rich rainforest, water, people, and even the prospective oil industry were portrayed in the many floats and costumes. Minister of Social Cohesion Dr. George Norton led the procession, which saw revelers traversing east along Thomas Lands into Vlissingen Road, then to the Durban Park for the final display of floats and costumes. When the DPI team caught up with the minister and his band along Vlissingen Road, he urged Guyanese to join the fun and frolic on the streets in the spirit of togetherness.
Excellent! Everybody is happy and enjoying themselves. Whoever at home, come out now, come out and enjoy it. Enjoy the sun, enjoy the music, enjoy the frolic.
We also caught up with Minister within the Ministry of Public Infrastructure, Annette Ferguson, who shared her excitement at being part of the parade. The ministry's float creatively depicted the agencies falling under the ministry's purview, as Minister Ferguson explained.
That design depicts an aircraft which represents what we are currently doing out there at Chedijegal International Airport. Behind the aircraft, you will also find the control tower, that is responsible for controlling all the airspaces, all the aircraft that transmit in our airspace. Outside of that, we are also depicting solar energy because, we're big on it. So we have GA being depicted there and also GPL. If you notice, we have the wind power. That is something that is high on our agenda too. And also, the big thing, the green economy, something that His Excellency is big on. So that too, we're also depicting under the Ministry of Public Infrastructure ban for MASH 2018.
While tramping along Thomas Lands, DPI caught up with Member of Parliament John Adams, who joined revelers in the Ministry of Public Health's float. themed healthy lifestyles. Innovate, Educate and Transform was this year's theme for the Ministry of Public Telecommunications, and the vibrant Minister Catherine Hughes was pumped and ready to represent her float, which showcased all the equipment necessary for enhancing the country's communications landscape.
We're celebrating unity, we're celebrating matrimony, 48 years, a good future ahead. My band, of course, is Public Telecommunications. As you'll see, our theme is Innovate, Educate and Transform. And it really highlights our vision and our mission in my ministry. We want to bring as much connectivity to all parts of Guyana because we feel that once you have internet, you can do so many things for education, for health, for entrepreneurial activity. So as you will see, we have a couple satellite dishes, we have computers, we have phones, we have the fiber optic cable, which is very central.
Later in the day, the team caught up with some revelers and spectators along the route, including Trinidadian soca star Olatunji.
We come to represent for the Carnival and GT Carnival. It's just a good vibe. Say the DJ, say Chinese, Olatunji, we just rolling.
I've been anticipating this day for a very long time. My favorite time of the year. So I just had to come out here with my crew, and we're having a great time. I've been up since like around 6, prepping for this. You know how it is, right? So I'm gonna leave you here. I'm going to go back to the truck and have a great time. After the entire parade and the float and everything, head back to Everest for the after party. Then I'm gonna go home, relax and chill for work on Monday.
Spectacular! Lovely! Unique art to the world! Unique art!
While the Mashramani celebration was in full swing in downtown Georgetown, some family members opted to spend the time together, away from the excitement in the National Park and the Botanical Gardens.
We just come out here and we picnic and so on, enjoy ourselves. Yes, and the marsh is nice, we feeling the vibe of the marsh, so it's all right, it's lovely, busy, you know, we enjoy ourselves.
This marsh is bigger than before, this year.
So you decided to come here?
Decided to come in the gardens because it's the closest way up for me to St. John Road to see the marsh.
We haven't came out for the past 2 years, I believe. So we're here now. We were out on Vicinjon Road, but the sun is extremely hot, as you know, tropical. So we just came by in the park to cool down, relax. We have lots of children, so they're out in the playground. So other than that, you know, we're just celebrating the regular Guyanese tradition.
After much gyration, the revelers with their floats put on the final show for the judges and spectators, who filled the stands at the Durban Park where the event culminated. For InfoHub, Stacey Carmichael. Delicia Haynes tells us that an action-packed Bartica Easter Regatta 2018 is being planned for March.
The Bartica Development Business Association in the Cayuni-Mazaruni Region No. 7 has scheduled a number of activities for the annual Bartica Regatta next month. Events coordinator Hulbert Knights, on behalf of the BDBA, said that some new events will be introduced for the highly anticipated event.
You can come to RY Resort on the 11th of March as we unleash raw talent in the fashion industry in our first ever top model segment of the Miss Regatta pageant. Join us on March 17th as the police Gymkhana crew thrill you with their skills on animal training and control. The police band will also be there to entertain our entire family.
Additionally, there will be a few sporting activities, which includes football, dominoes, volleyball, basketball, table tennis, and cricket. The entertainment portion of the regatta will feature performances from local and Caribbean artists.
Sunday afternoon, we will be having our own Universal Melodies Band and a few other artists performing for you so that you wouldn't need to go home until after midnight. After that, we will be heading right back to the Bartica Community Center ground tarmac, where we will be entertaining you live with KI from Trinidad and Tobago and the world-famous Lil Rick from Barbados for our courting event, the Bartica Easter Regatta Washdown.
The event's highlight will be the Miss Bartica Regatta 2018 pageant, where 9 young ladies will vie for the coveted title.
Our 9 beautiful and talented delegates will entertain you at our carnival and sashing ceremony on March 18. We will be mashing again on this day, then into the Bartica Community Center ground tarmac for a night of elegance as the delegates are officially sashed. Then on Monday, March 26th, they will be live on television to present to you their platforms and answer those very hard questions in the intelligence segment.
Other events will include a talent show for Barticians and a gospel fest, which will be hosted on March 30, 2018. For Info Hub, Delicia Haynes.
Canal No. 1 residents on the west bank of Demerara will soon benefit from an improved power supply as GPL takes its upgrade program to the community. Renetta LaFleur has more.
GPL's Power Utility Upgrade Program, PUUP, is moving to improve the system's overall efficiency by reducing losses and upgrading the network in priority areas in regions 3, 4, 5, and 6. During a February 25th meeting with the residents, Social Management Consultant PUUP Ruth Lee explained the benefits of the upgrade.
There's going to be an improved quantity and quality of power supplied to the customer. There's also going to be a reduction in amount. So if you used to get 20, you might just get about 10 or 8 in terms of the amount and duration of power outages and disruptions.
Other benefits include detailed consumption information to consumers, more frequent reading to consumers and GPL, and a reduction of estimated meter readings. Some residents raised their concerns, which were addressed by GPL's representatives.
Most of our appliances are 110, and we are presently using 22 volt voltage. So with this new intervention, are you going to have a dual voltage?
This have the GPL, Public Works, and the residents. So you have to take a portion, but we are designing the network to accommodate dual voltage for the future.
Will the information on the old meter be transferred to the new meter automatically?
The account remains the same. The name remains the same. The only thing that is changing is your meter, the instrument for recording consumption.
The community upgrade will be done via excavation and pole planting, stringing of conductors, and installation of new meters and service lines. Renetta LaFleur for InfoHub.
There is a role for Gaisuko's training center in the oil and gas sector. Paul McAdam explains.
Minister Trotman was at the time addressing stakeholders on a fact-finding tour of the training center located at Port Morant, East Berbice.
I believe that the school and the region in particular can play a role in the development of the oil and gas industry. The Exxon find the Liza well is off the coast of Mahaical, certainly not in Berbice, but there's certainly a lot of activity that you all are not aware of taking place in the Berbice area and towards the Surinamese border. And we expect that some companies will start to drill. We've been doing some seismic work there, and so we are looking at the possibilities and the prospects of Berbice becoming a part of this industry.
In addition, the minister explained that Berbice is under active consideration for the landing of natural gas when ExxonMobil begins production in 2020.
One of the things we're looking at is, one, bringing the gas pipeline on shore here. I'm not saying that is definite, but Berbice certainly is on the list because we have discovered a quantity of natural gas along with the oil. And government is exploring the possibility of bringing this gas by pipeline. It's 120 miles offshore. If we bring it on shore, certainly Berbice is one of the places that we're looking at where we could locate, not only land the pipeline, but locate the the generation sets to feed the grid. But the other one, of course, is putting a supply base in Berbice.
Kaisuko Training Center's school program coordinator Zamin Ali expressed pleasure with the ministerial visit and signaled his readiness to work with the government on the way forward. The training center has been in operation for more than 60 years and has certified thousands of persons. Paul McCallum for InfoHub.
Chenapao residents assured of the government's commitment to creating economic opportunities for their benefit. More from Seneca Thorne.
Minister Valerie Garrido-Low told Chenapao residents in Region 8, Pataro Siperuni, that the government will be willing to support any community project that will improve their livelihood.
Once you come up with something and the willingness to do it, government is going to support, especially if it has a successful retail, means that you will be economically empowered in the end.
Minister Garrido-Low gave this assurance during a recent visit to Chenapao. She charged them to come up with a green sustainable project that will generate income and create jobs.
I want you all to think about something similar to the Paramakatoy industry, tomato industry. Bearing in mind that everything starts from small and then it grows with your nurturing, with your hard work, with your belief, with your prayers, it grows.
The residents who welcomed the prospect of creating such an initiative agreed to discuss it at the community level. Once this is done, Minister Garrido-Low will return to the community to deliberate on the ideas and chart the way forward. Seneca Thorne for InfoHub.
Billions have been and will be spent on critically needed projects across Region 4. Stefan Gabriel has the details.
Minister within the Ministry of Health, Dr. Caricom, highlighted some of the projects earmarked for Region 4 in 2018.
Concrete culvert at Victoria Road, Pleasance, 7 million. Concrete bridge at Enmore, 7 million. Lima Road, Jonestown, Mahaika, 12 million. First Cross Street, East-West Factory Road, Paradise, 8 million. 3 new nursery schools to the sum of 83.5 million, one each at Craig, East Bank to 33.5. Strathspey, East Coast Demerara, 25 million. Vry's Loss, East Coast, 25 million. And Supply Health Center, $32 million.
The minister also revealed some of the major rehabilitation works taking place regionally. She further commended the regional administration for their efforts to ensure the good life for all.
Rehabilitation of the Buxton Health Center, 7 million. Major rehabilitation of Bridge at Anns Grove, 6 million. Major rehabilitation to Aston Street or Stelling, 9 million. Major rehabilitation to Mount Repose Primary School, 16 million. Completion of Golden Grove New Wing, as was mentioned earlier, 170.2 million. Completion of the extension to Buxton Secondary School, 15.7 million. Extension of the Lancaster Secondary School, 18 million. Upgrading of 4 roads to the sum of 41 million. And finally, completion of the construction of the Eccles Health Center, 27.2 million.
Meanwhile, the regional chairperson, Genevieve Allen, said that she was proud that 97% of the funds that were given to the Regional Democratic Council by central government for 2017 was utilized. She also promised more efficiency going forward. The senior officials highlighted the region's plan on Thursday last during the feature addresses at the Republic Day flag-raising ceremony at the RDC Compound Triumph, East Coast Demerara. For InfoHub, Stefan Gabriel.
Some 40 persons received support from the government following a fire that ravaged an apartment complex and 2 houses in Plaisance on Mashramani Day. Seneca Thorne has the details.
Some of the items handed over included beds and mattresses, stoves, kitchen utensils, and food vouchers. The fire victims also received cash ranging from $10,000 to $50,000. At a simple handing over ceremony at the Plaisance Secondary School, East Coast Demerara, Minister of Social Protection Amna Ali told the victims that while she is aware that the items will not be enough, she hopes that it brings some relief to them.
I must say that, sometimes you have to expect the unexpected, because I'm sure none of you here would have thought that on a day like MASH Day, you would have been faced with such a thing.
InfoHub spoke to two of the fire victims, Renette Heitzberg-Murray and Warren Gordon, who expressed gratitude to the government for the items.
I'm grateful and thankful. First of all, I want to thank God for life. And with regard to the contribution, I know it's going to go a long way because I have 3 kids going to school. It's not easy when you have kids going to school. This contribution will go towards ensuring that the transition from what they're accustomed to what they will be getting into is seamless.
I feel blessed. I feel it's very good what they're doing to help us out during the situation. I really appreciate it. Well, I'm trying to look for a better place, a better apartment to stay.
On February 23, a fire which started at an old Abiola hotel on Victoria Road destroyed 3 other buildings, leaving 1 dead and some 40 persons homeless. These persons are currently being housed at the Pleasance Community Center. On February 24, Minister of Finance Winston Jordan and Minister within the Ministry of Natural Resources Simona Brooms also met with the residents and distributed items. Seneca Thorne for InfoHub.
Guyana will be meeting with Norway to discuss the way forward with the agreement which was signed in 2009. Minister of State Joseph Harmon explained that Norway's Environment Minister acknowledged receipt of a letter sent to him regarding issues with the agreement signed between the two countries. He said while there are issues with the agreement, it will not prevent Guyana from receiving the benefits to be accrued. Minister Harmon alluded to recent revelations by Commissioner of the Guyana Forestry Commission, James Singh, highlighting Guyana's performance achievements under the agreement.
With respect to the terms and conditions of the agreement itself, we are still working on those things and there's still an active engagement on both sides. I think the question was asked about the extent to which the contract will be, the agreement will be going forward, what we're going to do about that. Certainly those are issues which we intend to address.
President David Granger, the state minister, explained, had made it clear that a Green State Development Strategy, GSDS, be placed as the highest priority of the agreement with Norway. According to Minister Harmon, he is not worried about the relationship with Norway being affected due to this decision to have it reviewed. Guyana and Norway signed the Climate and Forest Agreement in November 2009. For InfoHub, Stacey Carmichael. Organizers of the Mashramani Float Parade and ranks of the Guyana Police Force were commended by Crime Chief Paul Williams for helping the force to ensure that the day was incident-free. More from Stefan Gabriel.
With the Mashramani event being deemed a success, Crime Chief Paul Williams gave high commendation to the organizers and the Ministry of Social Cohesion for the recent Mashramani costume and float parade.
It was well thought out, and with the police involvement in the whole security arrangement, I think, that is the way how we should go with the event. There are lots of things went towards our benefits and advantages. One, because of the venue, where Mash kept at the Durban Park, it is the venue that really and truly sets out for that, okay? Also, what you find now is that the route where the march went, it was very good enough in terms of where we could have able now to separate the revelers from the normal commuters and persons who went out there just, to observe and to see what is going on.
The senior police officer also commended persons attending the event for their conduct.
The persons them who attended the event, they have conducted themselves well. We had no problem, no incident throughout. And come back again to the location. We were able now to concentrate certain amount of our resources there and then still had enough where we can able now to man those routes and able to patrol around the city and the parks and so on. So we had everything well set out. It went well. And then again I'm saying is that it's all come back to team effort. You understand? It comes back to team effort.
The Mashramani Costume and Float Parade 2018 saw a number of persons praising the police force for overall professionalism and security presence. For InfoHub, Stefan Gabriel.
East Coast of Demerara students were encouraged to study and embrace African culture as the Ministry of the Presidency, Department of Social Cohesion, in collaboration with the Mahaica Demerara's Regional Democratic Council, hosted an exhibition and lecture series at the Bedford-Wacton Secondary in observance of Black History Month 2018. Crystal Stoll has that story.
Region 4's Regional Executive Officer Pauline Lucas praised the event since she believes it will educate students of their ancestors. African Community Development Association Executive Member Eric Phillips presented briefly on Black and Guyanese history.
These are things you need to know. These are things that will help you to understand what contributions were made by all the different groups that came to Guyana. And we should all be proud of that, because without them doing that, we wouldn't be here today.
Caricom Ikemba representative Onika Frank urged students to become youth advocates for their country. Students and teachers of the region who attended the event considered it as an educational one.
I'm very pleased at this event. I'm glad that we have this going on in honor of our Black folks and in order of giving them what they deserve for every contribution that they make in our society. I'm very pleased that they're being honored, and I am very proud to be a Black person in Guyana. So this brings me a lot of joy.
It was educational because most of the children get to learn more about the Black History Month, because I don't think much of them were aware of it. So they get to know about the persons also who made contributions towards the Black History Month, so we can have this great observance.
Additionally, several persons of the Demerara Mahaica district were honored for outstanding work in the region by the President's Youth Award Cooperative Republic of Guyana's office. Crystal Stahl for InfoHub.
The long-awaited Sofia well has been completed and 24-hour water supply for residents is expected soon. Details from Renetta Lafleur.
I'm at the Sofia well site, which was recently drilled to provide an improved level of service to customers in Georgetown. It is the third of 3 wells following the signing of a contract between GWI and the Dutch firm.
The well was completed in late January. GWI's Director of Operations, Dwayne Shako, said the company is currently putting in the requisite amenities, which will see Sofia and other residents in Georgetown soon benefiting from a better water supply.
Putting in some infrastructure to bring that plant on 24 hours. So the persons who live in certain parts of Sofia, A, B field, and more extension into Bel Air and these areas will see a better service, longer hours, basically 24-hour service.
Shako explained that the Sofia and Bel Air areas are served from the Shelter Belt and Sofia plants. However, the Sofia plant does not operate on a 24-hour basis, hence the need to improve it.
We operate from 5 in the morning to around 10 in the morning, and it cuts off. It comes on back around 4:30 in the afternoon. It goes to like 10 in the night. So between those areas, those times, we have a low pressure period. So persons would have been receiving water upstairs in the morning, but after 10 o'clock, the pressure would drop much lower.
Some Sofia residents are anticipating that the new well will significantly improve their water supply.
I hope that in the future, as you see, the well benefit Sofia properly, that I could get home at 9 o'clock and turn on my tap, get water, and I could even turn it on and get water that I could drink.
I do hope that it be an ongoing program and something that everyone could be benefited from. Because over the years, a lot of people complain about water, poor water supply, and it's not being on time. The time when people are supposed to be having water is when they cut off the water. So I do hope that that this new initiative be a great benefit to Sofia residents.
From Block E, South Sofia, this is Renetta Lafleur for InfoHub.
Cold case unit to continue investigations into Monica Rees case and several others. More in this Paul McAdam report.
In an exclusive interview at his Evelyn office, Crime Chief Paul Williams said the Ghana Police Force is awaiting the establishment of a cold case unit to pursue investigations into several unsolved murders.
We still have Monica Rees on the priority. We still have the matter with the young lady that was found in the cemetery in Baby, Ms. Benfield. We have her matter as priority. We still have Rose's matter. Remember Rose, the guy, the designer who was shot? We still have his matters priority. We are waiting for the establishment of the cold cases unit so we can able now to invoke that matter, because it is a matter that's going to require, some special attention. So it's not that we put it away.
In addition, Williams assured that, like the Monica Reese case, there are several others being actively pursued.
It is a matter of national concern, and definitely it is not a matter that we have discarded or we've put away. It's a matter that we still have our eyes on because it's a part of our cold cases. There are numerous matters that we have as priority, okay? But as soon as the cold cases unit established, definitely we're going to go with those matters. And several others that are there that is being, awaiting that special attention quite some time now.
Monica Reese was killed and dumped in Main Street on Good Friday almost 25 years ago. Whilst several high-profile persons were questioned by the police, the matter still remains unsolved.
MASH 2019 plans already on stream thanks to the success of this year's events. Riding high on the success of MASH 2018, Acting Director of Culture Tamika Boson pointed out in a recent interview that the Social Cohesion Ministry is looking to launch the theme for next year's celebrations earlier compared to previous years. Persons are urged to sign up or submit ideas for the 2019 MASH theme.
We really want to launch that on March 9th at our prize giving ceremony, and so the entries are really important. So check the Facebook page, Guyana Matrimony, download the form, fill it up, and return it to the MASH Secretariat here at the Ministry of Social Cohesion, Department of Culture, Youth and Sport, or you can take it to the music school and break down, and we'll get it.
According to the Acting Director of Culture, Matrimony 2018 exceeded the expectations of its organizers and Guyanese.
MASH this year was a success all around. We were a little nervous at the beginning, but we're satisfied at this point that we had 18 activities successfully completed, and all would have been incident-free. Participation was awesome. The crowd was unimaginable at Durban Park, and the costumes themselves represented a good cross-section of who we are as a people.
Matrimony, derived from the Arawak dialect, means celebration after hard work. MASH 2018 float and costume parade utilized a new route starting from Thomas Lands and Cam Street, then turning into Vlesinjan Road and straight to Durban Park. Thousands turned out. According to organizing officials, the new route is to be first option next year. For InfoHub, Stacey Carmichael. The community development plans under the Amerindian Development Fund comes to an end this year. Some 186 communities are executing green sustainable projects under this venture. Details from Sidika Thorne.
The Community Development Plans, CDPs, is an important project document that encapsulates economic growth, development, and visioning. It follows the same procedure and approval process as that of the village plans prepared by the village councils. Community Development Facilitator Jeremy Simmons explained that the project, which ends in September, has thus far been mostly successful.
We know, quite frankly, that starting a small-scale business, the success rate can vary, Some villages are doing better than others. Some require a little more attention, a little more hand-holding, and so on. But by and large, they've been largely successful at getting the businesses up and running.
Simmons said that the ADF is in its monitoring stages, where the project department is visiting the various projects executed. They are also conducting follow-up training in management.
The grant is a one-off grant, meaning that the project was established to target 160 villages, right? So once the villages would have received their grant and operationalized their business of choice, that is it basically, because they're expected now to generate income.
The community development plans under the Amerindian Development Fund of the Low Carbon Development Strategy is intended to secure livelihood options for indigenous villages and hinterland communities. The CDP project was implemented in 2 phases. Phase 1 saw 27 communities being provided with funding of up to $5 million while Phase 2 targeted 160 communities. Seneca Thorne for InfoHub.
Next is a special report on yet another major oil discovery made by oil giant ExxonMobil.
Today, just coming out of Cabinet's meeting, I'd like to give an update to the public. The first is that another discovery of petroleum has been made, this time in the Pecora well, which is about 4 miles from the Payara well in the Stabroek block. And more details of this latest discovery, which has occurred within the last 48 hours, will be shared with the nation as we continue to have an aggressive program of exploration and, of course, as we proceed towards production in 2020. So to date, we have overseen the drilling of 7 wells by Exxon, 6 of which have borne fruit in that they have proven good. 1 has not. But we have so far an excellent record, and I'd like to congratulate the crew of the Stena Carron, which has been the ship that has done 90% of the discoveries without a day loss or any injury or any man-hours lost, and that is commendable. And of course, it has been done in a very efficient way. The second announcement is that last year I did propose to His Excellency the President that we begin considering the establishment of a Department of Energy, which department will be the one that is focused only on the development of the petroleum sector. And so today we held and had a very lively discussion on the proposal which I presented, and it has been determined and decided that we will have the Department of Energy established, and this will be coming within the next few months. It will be housed at the Ministry of the Presidency, and so the President and Cabinet has mandated that I would head the task force, which would comprise the quintet of ministers. That would be ministers of finance, state, public infrastructure, business, and myself. And we will include the other ministers of public security, public communications, and hopefully ministers of education and public and social protection, So this task force will be meeting and will make a proposal to Cabinet as to how the new Department of Energy will be comprised, staffed, and what its mandate will be. Eventually, the expectation is that the Ministry of Natural Resources will hand over responsibility of the function of petroleum to this new department, and we will see a more direct and focused mandate from this Department of Energy, and we will, of course, as a cabinet, be supporting the department. So this is good news, the discovery and the decision by cabinet to have a Department of Energy that's only focused on the development of our petroleum resource.
President David Granger, during a visit to Barmita Barima Waini, said the government is working to ensure that the community and region are protected against any threats to Guyana's territorial integrity. President Granger told Barmita's residents that his administration will do all in its power to ensure their safety and that of other frontline communities along the border with Venezuela.
Venezuela has been claiming more than half of our country. The Barima Waini, the Kuyuni Mazruni, and the Rupununi regions. But I want you to know that we are not surrendering 1 centimeter of our territory, not a blade of grass. We are here to work with your village, with your region, with your Tushao, with your residents, whether they are Carib or Warao or Arawak or Arakun or Akwayo, to make sure Guyana is safe. Just as we inherited Guyana from our foreparents, we want to pass it on to our children.
The Commander-in-Chief added that while Guyana looks forward to making its case before the International Court of Justice, the unstable situation in Venezuela has presented some threats to Guyanese, especially those living in bordering communities. Barmita, he pointed out, is vulnerable to illegal migration, the spread of disease, transnational crime, and attacks from the Venezuelan Sindicato gang. However, he assured that government will work with the regional administration, the Tushao and the village councillors, as well as the Guyana Defence Force and the Guyana Police Force to shore up security mechanisms.
We want to see people who feel safe And we want a region that is secure. That is why we are here. We're here to strengthen this village, to protect the people, and to ensure that the entire region remains secure.
President Granger also called on Guyanese to treasure their nationality and to guard Guyana's sovereignty, noting that peace in the region is critical to the development, safety, and security of South America, including Guyana. Following the village meeting, he visited the site to the almost completed $82 million government complex, which now houses the new Barometer primary and nursery school buildings, the medical center, teachers, and nurses' quarters. A U.S. $280 million local government reform grant was signed by the Ministry of Communities to build the local government system capacity. Sonika Thorne has that story.
The local government reform project is designed to ensure local government has the tools and resources to be effective. Capacity building will be done at the level of the ministry, the Guyana Association of Municipalities (GAM), and the municipalities to support the local democratic organs. Minister of Communities Ronald Bulkan reaffirmed the government's commitment to fulfilling the constitutional provision for the decentralization of resources to the local democratic organs.
It cannot be overemphasized that local government is a vital aspect of public administration and sustainability, since it deals with the quality of citizens' lives within communities.
CDB's Director Economic Department, Dr. Justin Ram, said that Guyana is at a critical developmental state, so the emphasis on local government reform is timely.
The emphasis on government reforms is indeed timely and to be commended. So like the Mayor said, I really want to commend the government of Guyana for undertaking this project at this important time in its development cycle.
The local government reform project will respond to the need for a realistic assessment of what local government can achieve in the current circumstances and what is required to achieve best practices and accounting with stakeholders' views. Sonika Thorne for InfoHub.
Caricom's 29th intersessional meeting was a success according to Foreign Affairs Minister Carl Greenidge. Tiffany Rodia sat down with him for a wrap-up of the events.
Minister of Foreign Affairs Carl Greenidge said the meeting successfully addressed specific issues, including trade, immigration and cricket.
Now, the importance of this meeting is that it actually managed to conclude discussion on a number of these areas and to have concrete proposals that took us forward from where we were before.
The minister added that the recent United Nations Secretary General's decision on the Guyana-Venezuela border controversy was also addressed.
It was in conformity with the recommendations and the requests they have made over the last 2 years, and they commended the SG for the decision he's taken, and also they, I think, of course, look forward to the process evolving in a manner that benefits the region.
The decisions made at this intersessional meeting will likely be adopted at the July Heads of Government meeting, which will also be held in Haiti. Following the conclusion of the intersessional meeting, Guyana and Haiti signed a memorandum of understanding.
The agreement signed this evening was a framework agreement, as sort of an MOU with the Republic of Haiti, setting a basis for us to be able to consult, collaborate, and put in place projects for cooperation between Guyana and Haiti.
Reporting from Port-au-Prince, Haiti, for InfoHub, Tiffany Rogers.
Thanks for watching. Connect with us 24/7 on our website and social media. Goodbye now.